What's going on, Dirt Beers listeners? It's me, Beef, and I got Jonathan here with me. We just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up. Me and Jonathan are going on the road, and we will be at Motorama in Toronto this coming weekend.
Yeah, we are going to be there for the Saturday night ahead of the Night of Champions ceremony at the Motorama. Not my first time doing live podcasts from there, as I've had the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast from there in the past. And Beef, you're going to make your live debut on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show with us at Motorama. So first up at 4 p.m., you will find a Dirt Beers podcast live from the Motorama floor. We'll kind of bridge the gap for all of our Canadian fans who are going to be in attendance and let them know kind of what's going on south of the border. And then at 5 o'clock, we're going to get into the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, tee up some of the things that are coming to racetracks near and dear to us where we live in Southern Ontario, kind of localize the show there, have some guests on, and really celebrate all things Canadian dirt there as well. So watch for us at 4 p.m. and at 5 p.m. in the live podcast section of the show. I believe we're in the Racing Hall, or I can't remember what the sponsor is this year, but we're going to be live there. Beef, you're going to have some Dirt Beer stickers, right?
Yep. Feel free if you're going to be at Motorama, come say hi to me and Jonathan. I will have Dirt Beer stickers available for purchase. I think Jonathan's going to have some Southern Ontario show stickers for purchase. But yeah, coming up in this episode though, we got Emerson Axsom live from the rig on the road, doing an interview with us. So if it's a little bit choppy, he said he might have some connection issue problems. So we'll see how that goes. But without further ado, this is Emerson Axsom on the Dirt Beers podcast. All right, welcome back to the Dirt Beers podcast. This is episode 12 with your host Beef and Jonathan. This week we got on Emerson Axsom live from the hauler on the road. They're heading up to the Talladega Short Track and Magnolia this weekend with the World Outlaws. But thanks for coming on, Emerson, and coming to us live from the rig.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We've been staying down in Florida the past couple of days, so just maintenance the past couple of days at Volusia, and then now headed down to Talladega, and hopefully the weather, clears up a little bit. I think Saturday looks a little bit rough, but and Friday is cold, but it's always tough to tell what it'll end up being like. So hopefully it just stays nice. We can get some good races in.
Yeah. So like we just discussed, obviously you're not old enough to partake in our little tradition here, but me and Jonathan get the episode started here by cracking a beer. Jonathan's on the heavy Bud Lights. I'm on the Stellas tonight.
This one's for Gordy.
Yeah, Gordy loves the heavy buds. But anyways, okay, so Emerson, thanks for coming on, buddy. So we got your 2024 stats to start off the season. We're going to talk about last year a little bit first. You had 64 feature starts, 3 wins, 20 top 5s, 31 top 10s, and that's as of my race pass. What was your 2024 season like in a little bit of a breakdown? What were some good races you had, good highs, maybe a couple of lows you want to tell us about?
Yeah, last year was honestly a really weird year. We started out the year with some different expectations, very different expectations than what we ended with. So it was just it was just a weird year in that way. I kind of started my own team, I guess you could say, kind of put together my own deal. Obviously, I have car owners, Dale Klosmeyer and Scott Petrie. They're my car owners, but, neither of them were really looking to build a team at the time. Like, I kind of, put the deal together and kind of got the right pieces together, and fortunately surrounded myself with some good car owners, and just was able to build a program around myself and put the people I want around me. So that was fortunate. But yeah, I'd say we had really good speed out of the gate. I mean, it's just tough because like last year at this time, we didn't even have race cars built. So it was kind of a last minute deal. Like I didn't really know what to expect. I'd ran probably 8 wing races before last year, and it was a tough deal. But we ran, I think we ran 6th at Kings Royal, made the Nationals feature, second at 360 Nationals. I think got Rookie of the Year and all of those too. So we had a really good year, but like there was also some nights that like we really struggled. Um, like the first 3 nights at Kings Royal, we struggled and then finally hit something there on the end and kind of hit the nail on the head, I guess you could say, and then yeah, it was a big learning year. I feel like so. Those were some positives, but I don't know. There was a lot of negatives too. I couldn't probably pick out any certain ones, but just a lot of learning in general as a driver and as a team.
You mentioned changing your expectations kind of through the year. How did they change first and foremost, and how much did that affect how you look towards 2025 and maybe how you set goals for this year?
Yeah, so I mean, at the start of the year, like last year, we were running local PA stuff, and I was running like top 15. Like it wasn't. I mean, local PA stuff is good, but like I wasn't very good, honestly. Like I wasn't comfortable. We didn't really have the car where it needed to be. We had the right equipment, but we didn't really have the car where it needed to be. And then we went to our first outlaw race was at Jacksonville, and high limit rained out, and I think they had like 60 cars, and there was a non-qualifier race, and I didn't even make it. Or I was in the C main or something. Like and I was like,
Uh,
I wasn't very good, and then we learned a lot like quick. So I think like it went from like my expectations to like making the show like really fast to like not expecting to run top five, but like you you want to have high goals. So like the goals is to like make the dash, and then if you make the dash, like then just to run up front and have a good feature. And like your goals change really fast throughout a night if you qualify well and stuff like that too. So I would say my goals changed from like making the feature to like having good speed and running top five. Not that like it's guaranteed. I'm not. You know what I mean? It's just like a
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think this year the goal is to try to. If you qualify well at an outlaw show, it makes your night so much easier. Like we've qualified, we've been really honestly, we've had good speed this year. It's just some unfortunate things have happened. Like I think we've been in the dash 50% of our races at Volusia, so which is more than a lot of people can say. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but there's also like I think gravel's been in all of them, so
Yeah.
um, like it's tough, but. Uh, I'd say our goal this year, I want to win a national level race and um, continue to build off of what we had last year. I feel like we had a lot of good runs at some crown jewels, and I'd like to at least not expect to go back and do just as good, but the goal is to do just as good or be better and better your program. So.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that those are some of the goals to have just as much success at some of the crown jewels and also try to win some national level races. And we've been close. I mean, we've had enough speed.
Yeah.
It's just you got to put it all together.
Yeah, for sure. So talking about your season this year, you're really new to getting into this wing stuff, and you're big in the non-wing midgets and all that beforehand. What's that transition been like going from that to running the wing cars?
It's actually been really hard. Probably the hardest thing I've done in my racing career. The best way I can describe it is like a wing sprint car is like no other race car I've ever drove. Like a wing micro is nothing similar to a wing sprint car, and but
Yeah.
but like a non-wing micro is not similar, but it's comparable to a non-wing sprint car. Like you can take at least a couple things from a non-wing micro and transition it over to a non-wing sprint car, in my opinion, or a midget. those three cars are kind of very similar. It's where the first time I got into a 410 wing sprint car, there's nothing, no other race car I've ever drove that could prepare you for driving a 410 wing sprint car besides driving a 410 wing sprint car. Like I actually talked about this today with Clint Boyles. I said that in my opinion, like the 360 wing sprint cars are closer to wing micros than 360 wing sprint cars to 410s. Like I feel like a 410 is just so much different than like any other race car.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to know, you mentioned a lot about what kind of got you going with the midget stuff and, with some of the outlaw stuff. I want to know, where did it really start? How did you catch the bug racing wise? And what made you go down this path as a young kid? I assume that's probably when it started, right?
Yeah, yeah. So my dad used to race. My dad actually worked on dirt late models whenever he was my age. So he worked on dirt late models for a guy that races out of my hometown, or used to race out of my hometown, and they had a decent amount of success. I think they were in second at like the Dream or something. So I mean, he was a part of some pretty successful racing teams growing up, and kind of learned some stuff from them. And then he wanted to race himself, so he got a pavement modified, and then so I grew up watching him race pavement stuff, uh, and then the Nolan. You guys know Nolan Racing? It's the yellow Silver Crown number 20. Jerry Coons drove it. Cody Swanson drove it.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I've seen Cody, yeah.
It's the car I run at the Little 500. So
Okay.
their
Okay,
shop
yeah.
was actually based out of Whiteland, Indiana. And so my dad, he always grew up around them too, and actually drove. I think he ran like 8 or 9 Silver Crown races for them. So then I grew up around that program also, and kind of just like from there, my dad got me a go-kart while I was growing up around all those programs, like his modified program and the Silver Crown program and stuff like that. So I raced quarter midgets while my dad was kind of at the end of his racing career, and then I've always been into the dirt stuff. So he bought a micro, bought 2 micros off of the Zeb Wise. So I bought all of Zeb Wise's old micro stuff just because we raced quarter midgets together, and from there on out, it was just kind of like, once I got into micros, I kind of realized it's for sure what I wanted to do. So that's kind of where it really got serious, was in the micro stuff.
So coming up, did you have any post-secondary education, or was it you wanted to be a race car driver straight out of high school?
Yeah, actually, so back when I ran micros and quarter midgets, my dad always said that if I didn't go to college, he'd never help me race again. So, uh, but for what I don't know, something changed along the lines. Like, I don't know if it's because like he saw that I could race professionally, and at first he, like, I don't know if he didn't believe that I could do it, and he like just wanted me to take up schooling instead or what. But
Yeah.
so I didn't go to school for anything after high school. I graduated like in school and stuff. Like I took online, I think, my senior year, but I didn't do anything after high school. And yeah, I don't know. My dad, he used to always be heavy on college, but for whatever reason, once I got hired by Scott Petrie to run the midget and had some success, he kind of
Oh,
backed off on.
Okay, so I got a little question. We like to throw in some non-racing questions every once in a while, but Emerson Axsom goes to a steakhouse, maybe on the road, wherever at home. How are you getting your steak cooked?
I mean, medium rare or medium. That's how I like them. It kind of depends where you go.
that's kind of fair. To be fair, I've had a medium rare steak when I'm like, I should have asked for rare, and vice versa.
So, you're on the road, obviously, right now. But during race season, obviously it's just started, but what's your typical week look like during race season? And what's your typical day at the track look like?
Honestly, away during race season, if I'm at home, let's say, uh, honestly, I just run errands for my crew guys, and then go to Brownsburg or go to Indy and grab some tear offs or whatever. Like make sure all my stuff from the trailer from my side is all ready so that I don't get to the track and scramble. But then at the racetrack, honestly, I'm very fortunate. My guys let me sleep in, come to the track later. So I usually sleep in and meet up with them to get lunch, and then head to the track and get all my helmet and stuff ready. Get kind of all my gear ready, and kind of just focus on being a driver. So I'm very fortunate that I have a good team that allows me to kind of just focus on my job, and everyone does their job. They don't. I go to the car wash and help them, but other than that, like I don't have much job to do on the race car, besides tell them what it needs on the racetrack and kind of just drive.
That's fair. You mentioned getting ready on a race day. Do you have any like race day superstitions? Do you have to do things in a certain way leading up to the time you get in the race car that gives you the good mojo going into the night?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I probably do that I like the same thing I do every race day is I clean my helmet. Like I just always make sure I have a clean helmet. I don't know, just kind of restart, just wash it all
Drop
off,
them. Let's see.
and kind of if you had a bad night,
There it goes.
wash it all off and restart, and kind of it's a new night.
Yeah. So, we're gonna get into I think our favorite part of the show here. I don't know if you've seen the show before, Emerson, but this is our Rip in the Top segment. And last week's guest set the new quick time. So you're looking to be 18-second quick time on this deal. But basically, I'm gonna give you.
Oh, we lost him.
God dang it!
I was gonna say he might have a
there he's
competitive.
back. Okay.
He's back. We're
Back.
good.
Okay, did you
All right.
hear what I was
Hopefully I don't
saying?
cut out during this.
Yeah, I know.
I was
Let me
gonna
try
say
to
he
do it
might.
quick. So
He might have a competitive disadvantage here because he's
Yeah,
gonna
I
fight
know.
That's
the
not fair.
internet on the road.
yeah, so you just gotta be as quick as possible, pretty much. So I'm gonna give you 4 questions, rapid fire. Oh, maybe he's gone again. Oh,
There he
I
goes.
got you.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
4 questions, rapid fire. They're all food and drink related. As
All
soon
right.
as you answer, I'm going to the next one. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm gonna count you down. 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna start. Okay.
Sounds good. Yep.
Let's fire this thing.
I want to wait till he's not froze.
Yeah, that's fair. Gotta give him the best opportunity at this because again, it's like a little disadvantage right now for him. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say I don't know how we adjust for the lag. Like, am I gonna have to go back in and actually edit his pauses and give him the best opportunity? There.
It's all right.
I think we got
okay,
it.
he's gone.
It's okay,
ready?
eventually.
Okay. We'll try this. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Favorite beer or drink?
Coke.
Favorite truck stop snack and drink combo?
Reese's and Coke.
Top 3 pizza toppings.
Pepperoni, cheese, and sausage.
Favorite wing flavor?
Favorite what?
Wing flavor.
Barbecue.
Wing flavor.
Barbecue.
There we go.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, it's
We're gonna
hard.
put an asterisk on that one.
Yeah,
I think we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
it's
give him
all right.
another shot when he's parked somewhere
Yeah.
down the line.
You
but-
came in at 29.9, but I believe you could do a hell of a lot better than that.
I'm sure.
I'm
I
gonna
could.
laugh when I'm editing this later, and I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be editing this later, and Emerson's gonna be like sitting there waiting for the question on his side, and then there's gonna be beef taking a delay. So, should be an interesting
Sorry.
edit. I'm sure, but
Yeah.
I want to know. I feel like a lot of people, especially stateside, we're obviously Canadian. We don't have the same infrastructure for a national tour to follow for dirt racing. But it feels like from everybody that we've talked to on the show is the goal is to finally get to some kind of national touring program. And be a regular, whether it be high limit, whether it be a late model tour, whether it be a modified tour, anything like that. So I want to know, how close are you to that ultimate national tour, following a national tour and running that goal, do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I'd say I'm probably a year away. I mean, we could have done it this year. I think we have the speed to do it this year. But it's one like I want to do it the right way. I don't want to just jump on
Definitely.
and like kind of, I don't know, half-ass it and
Yeah.
just I don't want to jump on the tour, then like jump off and then do it again in a year. Like I want to make sure our program's right, and in my opinion, there's like no rush. I'm 20 years old. My car owners both tell me that they want to do this for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's my car owners tell me they're not going anywhere. I don't plan on going anywhere. So I kind of just think it would be better to wait, get the right help. Not that we don't have the wrong help, but
Yeah.
we don't just have like I have a full time crew chief and my dad. So that's literally our crew. And then, normally we get a part time tire guy to come with us on certain weekends, but there's not been a consistent guy every weekend. So and my dad still works. Like right now it's just me and my crew chief on the road. So my dad flew home to work, and it's just me and my crew chief on the road. And I try to help as much as possible, but I can only do so much as a driver.
Yeah.
So it makes it tough. But I think we're about a year away from having the right help, and if I'm kind of, I feel like, honestly, one sponsor away from being able to like, not that we're underfunded, but it would just take a lot of load off of a lot of people if
Yeah.
we could just get one good sponsor, to kind of just help the car owners out a little bit, and get good help besides having a good crew chief.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, I mean, obviously you do some stuff on the car, but if you were to not be the guy behind the wheel and you were just a kid coming up, working on sprint cars or whatever kind of dirt car, what do you think your crew role would be? Would you be a crew chief? Would you be a tire specialist, car chief?
I mean, I don't know that I would even. I've always said that like racing is too grueling to be anything but the driver, in my opinion. Like I love the grind of being on the road and stuff as a driver, but I don't think I could do like
As a crew
I
guy?
I don't know that I could do it as a crew guy. Like if I would even want to, but I mean, obviously, I would shoot to be a crew chief if I had like if one of those options, if I had to choose, I would probably the crew chief's always the guy that gets glorified. If it's not the driver, you know what I mean. If a guy is going to get glorified that isn't the driver, it's the crew chief. So,
Yeah.
um, it's never the tire guy that gets all the shine. So I think you might as well shoot high and at least be the crew chief if you can't be the driver.
I want to know about 2025 so far. I mean, looking over your stats thus far, Emerson, pretty solid start to the year. 14 features, you already got a win under your belt, a couple of top fives, 8 top tens. Basically 50% of the races you run and you're finishing top 10, which is a pretty solid start to the year, plus that win. Like I say, how good does it feel to have a win under your belt this early into 2025, and how much confidence does that allow you and the team to kind of carry forward each and every race that you go to?
Yeah, it feels good. Honestly, I feel like we've had a lot more speed than our results even show. Like, I feel like, we were in position to have an outlaw win. 2 nights ago, we were in position to run on the podium again with the Outlaws. And stuff just, not that it's bad luck, because it's like caused by either me, and then the other night was caused by, the crew kind of took the blame willingly. So, um, like, not that it's a big deal, like stuff happens, but it's kind of we've caused all of our own problems so far. So I think if we could just tidy up some stuff, like our results should honestly be even a little better. But it's hard to be too mad about that kind of stuff when, like I said, I think we've been in the dash 50% of the nights. We've qualified good. I think we have a quick time with the Outlaws. So like we've had good speed. It's just like cleaning up a little bit of stuff and Volusia's hard anyway. Like if you make one mistake, it's kind of over anyway. So that place is tough, and once we get out of there, I'm excited to see what our new how our, I guess, normal package is outside of a place like Volusia.
So going into 2025, what's some races this season that you're pumped up to get to, or you got circled on the calendar like I can't wait to pull in the pits at that racetrack?
Yeah, I'm excited to get back to Eldora. I feel like we've always had good speed there, and I feel like our half mile package got a lot better since the last race in Eldora in September. And Eldora and Knoxville, really, like I feel like our half mile package has gotten a lot better since the last time we've been there. And we've learned some stuff at Volusia. Obviously, they're very different racetracks, but we've learned some stuff with air and how to get through air a little bit better. So I'm really excited to get back to Eldora and Knoxville, where our program already qualified really good, but struggled kind of a little bit during race time. So I feel like we can implement some of the new stuff we've learned during the race night. You know, we could have a real legitimate shot at running good at some of those crown jewels.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of one of those things too. I feel like the fields are pretty open for these things. Yes, there's obviously your heavy hitters. You mentioned gravel earlier in this interview about finding your way up against him more than a few times already in your young career. But I want to know from kind of behind the scenes, I guess really behind the steering wheel, what's something that the average fan wouldn't know or think of about the race cars that you find yourself racing in? What's something that people probably don't really realize about being a dirt driver that all of us sitting at home watching on Dirt Vision or watching on Flow or whatever aren't really thinking about, but you guys all have to think about?
Yeah, I'd say probably just like how bad a race car reacts in dirty air. Like if you don't have especially in wing racing.
Lost him a little bit. Let's see if he comes back here.
If you got me.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, sorry.
All right, probably about how bad a race car reacts in dirty air, on the wing side of stuff, and just like how much a race car really matters. Like I feel like race car drivers don't forget how to drive. So like you'll see a guy run on the podium one night and then run 18th the next night, and honestly, the only thing that probably changed was how he felt in the race car. Like he didn't forget how to drive. So probably just how much a race car matters, and how hard it is to get through dirty air. I mean, at least I think it's hard. Some of these other guys, they make it look easy. So maybe it's just a me thing, and but that probably be my opinion of something that a fan probably wouldn't really notice, because I didn't notice it before I started racing wing cars, that a race car drives that much different in dirty air compared to clean air.
Gotcha. So we got another one of these little bit funky questions, non-racing related question for you. What's a food that many people wouldn't expect that you like, or maybe a food take that you have that most people would not agree with?
Man, I don't know. It's honestly,
he dropped.
Let's
get him back here. There he goes.
There he comes. Oh, there you go. Okay,
there we go.
Back. You're good.
Got me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, buddy. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Probably my hot take is probably that I'm not really picky at all. There's not really a food in this world that I would not eat. I mean, obviously I have preferences, but I'll dang near almost eat anything. I'm not picky at all, and uh, I feel like that's probably the my hot take or whatever is that there's not really a bad food.
We're gonna get into our follower questions next. So I put up a story on the Instagram, asking people if they had any questions for you, and we got some responses here. So first one comes in from Barry M. Bristol. He says, "What's the best part about driving a sprint car?"
Probably that you only have to work 2 days a week. Like a lot of people, like I have a lot of time off. A lot of people think race car drivers travel a lot and like live on the road, but like I mean, I'm out on the road a lot and I get to see a lot of cool places. But honestly, probably just the fact that most of the time, like you're only racing Friday, Saturday, and you have a lot of other time to focus on other projects or other things in life.
Next one.
Yep.
Aiden
Yeah.
Coxey says, "How is running a midget?"
Uh, I mean, I feel like it's changed over the past couple of years. Like my first years in midget racing, um, it was kind of more a little bit finesse. But as the years have gone on, like since even like 4 or 5 years ago, like a lot of the younger guys get in them now, and you kind of just run a midget wide open, whether you're comfortable or not. So I don't know. I feel like they didn't used to be as hairy to drive to where now they're kind of sketchy, and you kind of have to run them wide open now, no matter if you're comfortable or not, and kind of just figure out a way to make speed while not lifting.
So next one comes in from Peyton. Says, "Advice for young kids in the sport, drivers slash crewing."
Man, I don't know. I feel like probably the biggest thing for me was just meeting people. Like the only reason I'm in the place I'm in right now is because I've met a lot of great, I've made a lot of great relationships over the past couple of years, and I grew up in Indiana and made some relationships with car owners that I was fortunate enough to, in my career, I've never had to buy a ride. So um, literally by just making relationships and stuff like that, like Scott Petrie, I got to know him through racing, and then Dale Klasmeyer, we became family friends, and the only reason this wing sprint car program is really put together is just because of the fact that I became really great friends with those two guys, and they wanted to help out a younger guy, and I was able to put the pieces together and get a ride out of it. So that would probably be the biggest thing, is just making relationships.
So the next one comes in from Reed Miller. It says, "Will you run a micro again besides at the shootout?"
I mean, I enjoy the micro stuff. Like I would run one for sure. But I just don't really have time. Like right now, my main focus is like bettering myself in a wing sprint car, because I, in my opinion, haven't learned probably half of what I'll learn driving a wing sprint car. So, if I could just learn a lot faster in a wing sprint car and do however I can better myself in a wing sprint car is my goal at this point in my career. To where like I said, a wing micro doesn't really translate, or a micro in general. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless they had a big paying race
Yeah.
that I had a weekend off on. I'd run it, and what makes it even tougher is I don't really know many people that I'd be comfortable racing with anymore in a micro, just because kind of a lot of the people that I knew have moved out, or live in California, like Jared Huckleberry. So I don't really know who I would drive for even.
Okay, and the last one comes in from Tanner Williams. He says, "Does Emerson own a comb?"
Own a comb?
Yeah.
No, no, I don't. I just honestly, like, I'm really kind of lazy. So like when I wake up, I like to sleep. So I don't know that I'm lazy. I just like to sleep. So uh, like I'll take a shower and then just go straight out, and like sleep in as long as I can, jump up, take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth, and like get on the road to wherever I'm going. So,
Yeah.
usually instead of combing my hair, I just sleep in for 5 more minutes.
Worth it, honestly. Can confirm.
Right.
Definitely the extra sleep is worth it, buddy. All right, well, you know what? I've got, I guess, just one more that I want to know, and that's your interests outside of racing. You mentioned having, a lot of downtime and really only working maybe 1 or 2 days. So, besides traveling and some of the things that you have mentioned, what other non-racing stuff do you try to maybe fill up your days with? Are you like a gamer, a golfer, sports fan? What's a day in the life away from the racetrack like for Emerson Axsom?
Yeah, I'm a big college sports fan. Like, I watch a ton of college basketball. I watch a ton of college football. Me and my dad, or my dad and I, have season tickets to Indiana basketball. So, uh,
Nice.
we always go to the games, and I know one of the equipment managers over at Indiana University, so he hooks us up with some good seats and stuff like that. And uh, yeah, I'm just probably a college basketball fan the most. I golf a little bit, but I only golf because my friends like it, and I just go to hang out. I'm not good, so I'm not really a big golfer, but I golf a little bit, watch a lot of college basketball and football, play a little bit of basketball, but other than that's my main interest outside of racing, I would say.
All right, quickly, who should we? Oh, I lost him. I was about to get great advice on the March Madness. Let's see if he comes back here. Let's see if it opens back up.
Oh,
Yeah, we got you. All right, quick one, building off that college basketball talk. March Madness around the corner. Who we need in our brackets? Who's going deep this year?
I mean, Auburn is clearly the best team in the country, but I'd say a team that is going to go far. That's not, at least my predictions. That's not really a chalk, I guess you could say, like a number 1 seed or whatever. Is probably like Texas Tech or Florida Gators are good. Hopefully, Indiana's just in the tournament. That's my hope. I don't know. I mean,
Nice.
I would say probably like Florida, Texas Tech. UConn's probably going to be a high seed this year, but I bet they go far still just because they have a good coach. But yeah, I don't know. Just I watch a lot, but I'm definitely no sports analysis.
Well, I'm taking some notes anyways, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll throw in an extra pool or something based on your picks. But yeah. All right, Beef, you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, awesome interview, Emerson. We appreciate you coming on, even though we had a couple of technical difficulties, but I think it's going to all iron out. We'll all be good here. But very special that you're doing it from the rig. First guy to do it from the rig. So you always have that, I guess, award from the show. But awesome interview, and we really appreciate you coming on and answering some of our questions.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Sorry about the lagging out and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys can get it all fixed up and edited and stitched together to make it look good, and hopefully it gave you guys some content to post. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and yeah, looking forward to this year, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to catch you at a racetrack at some point this year, so we'll see you then. But other than that, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.